Hello everyone. In this second part of the video, we will go ahead and focus on getting your device connected to your network. So again, we just want to make sure that your device is first of all correctly connected to your is correctly detected by your computer by going to the device manager. So you can just go over here and just type in device manager, and then just go ahead and click device manager over there. It'll open this up here. Go down to the ports and make sure that you have a port assigned to your CC3200, which in this case here it's COM9. You can take a picture of that and note that down. And another thing that I forgot to mention about your Energia IDE. So once you install it, certain antiviruses may react rather violently to your IDE. An IDE is just another name for a program that you use to program devices, like for example your Arduino, or create programs with, like in C Sharp or C++ or Java. So your Energy IDE may be detected as malware or a virus by your computer's antivirus. So in some circumstances, like for example, I'll demonstrate what I do. What I do is I try to exclude the entire folder, the entire download folder where I have downloaded it to, from that detection, and I exclude all those IDs. So all those programs and all those subfolders and programs in that directory, I exclude them all from the scan and from the auto detect. So in order for us to do that, first of all, you have to go ahead and just create a folder. First and foremost, a folder before you, sorry, not even before. You can even create this folder after you have downloaded the Energy IDE from my link over here, right? And then extract. Then once you've created that folder, right, you need to go over here first to your antivirus. Open it up. It may be different, of course, in your antivirus. I just go over to um, my settings over here. I have to go down to antivirus. I have to go down to scans and risks. And then I have to go to exclusions and low risks. And then over here, it'll give me some options here to exclude folders and programs from being scanned or from auto protect, sonar, and other detective mechanisms that detect malware. So I just want to put this out there as a disclaimer. I'm not saying that Energia is completely, 100% trustworthy, but I personally do trust it. You may not trust it, but I just don't want to be responsible if anything does happen. I just know that I trust it. I'm not saying that you should 100% trust it, but I trust it. So what I do is I go over here, and I make sure that at least it's excluded from scans first and foremost. Okay, just to start with, so that you can download it safely. Because what happens is that not download it, but you so that you can extract it. Because usually zip files are not really scanned when you download, but they're scanned sometimes when you extract them. So what happens is that once you create the folder that you want to extract your IDE to, right? You go ahead and you click configure here, and then you can add that folder that you're going to extract it to. So you can, so one way you can do that is, I'm sorry if that was really loud. Um, you can go ahead and click add folders, and then you can go to this icon here, and you can create a. I think you should be able to. Can you create a folder here? I don't know if you can actually do. You can't create folders here. No, you can't. So you have to, again, like as I mentioned before, you'd have to create the folder ahead of time, just an empty folder. Just go ahead and add the folder here. And then once you're done with that, you can click save, you can click apply, and then don't close that screen, because now you just go ahead and you can extract, hopefully without any issues. Then once you've done that, once it's extracted, now you can go back here and click. All right, you want to have items to exclude from auto protect, sonar, download, intelligence detection. So click here, and then go ahead, add that folder. Then it should include the sub directories, because you'll say add folders, then it'll say include subfolders, right? So you can go ahead and do that, and then go ahead and also say signatures to exclude from all detection. Go ahead and if you need to do that, you can also do that as well. And then yes, you should be good to go. Hit apply, close, and you should be able to run your Energy IDE without any issues, without your antivirus complaining too much, right? And gutting your ID and gutting your IDE. So you don't want that to happen. Another way you can do this is you can also, if you don't have to go through all this, you can just disable your antivirus completely, at least for the duration of which you're working with with your Energy IDE. That's also another simple way of working with it. The only problem is that if you forget to turn it off, it will be on full force and it may complain. It may start, it may start to quarantine and delete sections of your IDE. That is if your antivirus does that, if it's that overprotective. Some antiviruses are that overprotective, some are not. So it just depends on your system. But I just want to put that out there just in case you come across that issue, because I did come across it, because I do have a very powerful overprotective antivirus on my system. So after you've done that, and another thing that you want to do is, unfortunately, Energia 17 on certain systems is very glitchy. It has some graphics glitches. So what I highly recommend is what you do is, and this has worked for the most part, is you come here and before you start it, you want to open up again. Just go ahead and open up your folder, your Energia 17, which is over here, which you have excluded from your scans or your antivirus is off. Right-click your Energia program, go to Properties, and then while you're here, go to Compatibility. Make sure you run this with compatibility of XP, Windows XP. And then, of course, indicate that you want to run this as an administrator. Click Apply and click OK. And then you should be good to go. All right? You should be good to go. Then you click OK, and then now you can start your Energia, and there will be a few graphics glitches, but I'll show you how to deal with it. Just maximize the window, and that should get rid of all the glitches. So we'll run it here. Maximize it by double-clicking the top bar here, or you can just hit this button here to maximize it. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and run the first program, which will allow you to connect to your router. Again, just in case I didn't mention this before, you do not want to run this. You don't run your connection on a WPA or a WPA2 connection, right? Because WPA2, especially WPA2 Enterprise, you need some extra configuration steps to go through, and it's kind of a hassle. So if you're actually using just a regular commercial router, which you can configure those settings, you can choose different network protection mechanism other than WPA2, and that should work. Again, the only problems I've had are with WPA2, which is WPA2 regular and WPA2 enterprise. So any other networks should work. So again, once you have that set up, you connect this to your router. Your router is on. In order for you to get your CC3200 connected to your access to your router, right? Which is on and it's broadcasting its SSID, which is its identification. You want to go ahead and connect your CC3200 to your computer, and then let's see, you want to make sure that's connected first. So you want to go to Device Manager. I think I probably did this before, but open up Device Manager, make sure it's connected. Go to ports, CC3200, COM9. Okay, that's good. And then you see that we're having that graphics glitch again, so just maximize it. Go to Tools, Board. Make sure that it is set to CC3200 EMT, right? Not CC3200 regular, but CC3200 EMT. Okay, that's the one that we want. Make sure serial port set to COM9. And then you also want to make sure that your device is properly jumpered. So you go back to your guide, which is over here. Then where's your guide? And then you want to go over here. So what this jumpering does is allows you to be able to program your Energy IDE, because you can have it connect to the computer, but it won't allow you to program it unless you have these jumpers in place. These jumpers are just a single wire, which is a female to female end wires that you can connect to this point here, which is the top of a J8 TCK pin right at the top here, and then set to the bottom of this SOP connection over here, which is this pin over here at the bottom. What I like to do is I like to take one of these jumpers here that I have extra that I'm not using. Don't pull out one of the ones that are already here on the board. If it's already configured the way it is here on the board, leave it the way it is, okay? So if you have any extra jumpers, you can put it on the top over here, this top pin here, and at the bottom of this pin over here. That way, if you look at your board, you'll just see one pin exposed here. You'll see a pin exposed here, and you'll see something sticking out. Or you'll see the jumper sticking out here. You'll see the jumper sticking out here. So it'll just help you quickly identify where to put your pins, where to put your jumper in when you want to program. Again, this jumper is just for programming. It's not for running. I mean, sorry, it's not necessary for running. You can run it with the jumpers, no harm, no foul. But definitely, if you have like a really long jumper like this one here, it can be unsightly. But so you want to have that put in, right? So that you can program your IDE. Again, there's some arrows here with some text here, just in case you can't see it clearly, to guide you on that. Again, this is the guide that you have been provided with. So after you have gone ahead and done that, you can go ahead and open up your Energy IDE. And then now we can open up the program to get our MAC address and our IP address on the network, which is already running. So your router is on, and you want to go to your get MAC address for your HS. Just click on this program here, open it up, and there you have it. So maximize it again, so you don't have any issues. Go to credentials. Don't worry about this first tab. Just go to the second tab here. As you can see here, the SSID for my current wireless network, because I'm here to my apartments, is the Raj Wireless. So just make sure. So you'll see this over here. So just if you want to change this, you can change this if you want, right? Just replace that the Raj Wireless with the name of your SSID. And then your character password. You put your password right there, like that, right? Since my network doesn't require a password, because what happens is that we are required to register our MAC addresses, then this is not important. Our character, we don't have a password for our devices. What happens is that if it's not registered on the network, after like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, our device will be kicked off permanently off the network until we, or kicked off at least for a short while until we can actually register the device via the MAC ID. That's according to my network, not according to your network. It's my network. So anyway, so once you have this set up, you're good to go. You are good to go. Just go ahead, verify your program. It'll indicate over here that's compiling the sketch. Should take about a minute or two. Not about less than a minute. There we go. So once it says done compiling, you can now send it over to your device. So you have your device connected. It's jumpered. So you could click upload. Just this button over here. And now it is uploading to your device. Okay, so we're waiting for it to go. And it should finish uploading here in just a short while. There we go. It's done uploading. So now what we can go ahead and do is we just open up the serial monitor here, and it'll give us the details that we need. Wonderful. So now you can actually go ahead and you can either note this down on paper, or you can just take a picture of this of the screen here with your camera. Again, that's all this program does, is it just spits it out repeatedly over and over and over again. So now the really cool thing is that this program is already saved to your CC3200. So as long as it's connected to power, it'll continue running the same program over and over and over again nonstop until you disconnect the power. You reconnect the power, it'll take some time to start up, a couple of seconds, and then it'll start running this program again. So that's what it does. That's the configuration setting for this. That's how this program runs. So okay, now we're done with that. So let's trust me. So once you have that information, you can close this. Again, you can see there's a graphics glitch again, so just maximize it again, so it's gone. I do apologize for that. There's an issue. I'll try and upload an update if I can find a better fix to that glitch, or this graphics glitch that you see here, or that you saw rather. But otherwise, you want to go ahead and open up your other program here, which is the main program for the Hot Knife web server, right? And I'll show you how to get that connected. So again, once you open up the folder, right, you'll see Hot Knife Web Server Final. You open up this folder, you'll see 3 different programs. This one here, so blue, red, and the Hot Knife Web Server. So the one you want to open is the Hot Knife Web Server. If you open this other ones here, it'll give you some weird glitch. So it'll ask you, like, it'll tell you, oh, this is not in the correct folder, right? Because what happens is that the folder has to be, the name of the program has to be in a folder of its same name. So if you try and open this, it'll give you a weird error. So don't do that. Just open this instead. And if you do open this by mistake, just cancel it. And you say, nope, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to create another folder. So just go ahead and make sure you click on this. So open that, and it'll open it again. It always opens programs in a different window. Maximize it, just as I recommended, to avoid that glitch. And then just go ahead here, and if you go to blue LED, this is the main program here. So there's some comments over here. Again, we're just focusing on the network connection part here, just to make sure that this connects to your network properly. So again, you can see here, this is the SSID for my network here, the Ranch Wireless. And then you can see over here, this is where you put in the character password. So again, I don't need a password for mine. So you can either like do this, like leave that active, or you can just comment it out altogether. So either way, if you don't use a password for your network, then you're good to go, right? So that's pretty much all you have to change, at least. Then now the program should be able to work without any issues for now. So in the next part of the video, we'll go over now the settings that we've done here, like some of the code, we'll go over the C code over here, and we'll also go over the HTML code over here, and we'll also look at the actual web control interface. So so right now it's good to go. So you can actually verify it. It'll take about a minute or so, then just send it to your device, and you should be good to go. But before we do that, again, there's one more networking issue I just wanted to mention over here, and let's go back to that. Let's go back to the guide. So so what you want to do for your router, so as I mentioned before, you can just get a regular consumer router from Best Buy or from your favorite electronic shop, get that running. Then preferably you want to get one that has reserve IP, and when I talk about reserve IP, this is what I mean. So you'd go over there and you'd search for reserve, and then it'll give you some instructions on how to reserve an IP address. So what happens is that it reserves an IP address to the MAC ID that you're provided. Now, let me tell you the difference between the MAC ID and the IP address. The MAC ID is pretty much it's the burn-in address. It uniquely identifies each and every network device in this world. It's like its name, its own unique name, right? An IP address is just an address that it gives it just so I can access any network, be it a local network or the internet, right? It's given out by the router. So when you reserve an IP address, it means that once you reserve the IP address to that MAC address, which is that its unique name, right? Then that device, every time it connects to the network, this network will always give it the same IP address each and every time, right? Otherwise, if you do not set reserve IP address each and every time that you connect your device onto the network, you're going to get a different IP address almost each and every time. Because at least what happens is that these IP addresses are given out arbitrarily to devices, and at least for a very short amount of time. After that, it gives it a new address. So for this project, having a changing IP address is not very helpful. It's not helpful at all. It just gives you'd have to run this program again for getting your MAC address each and every time you want to know what IP address your device is running on. So it's not very effective to have a changing IP address. So you want to have a fixed IP address. So as soon as you get that MAC address, right? Remember the one that you took a picture of or that you put down on paper? You want to go over here to your router, right? And then just go access this menu here for managing the reserved IP address. And then if your device is connected to the network, then it'll show up. It'll actually show up, and you'll see the IP address. You'll see the MAC address over there. So sometimes it'll be nice enough. It'll give you an option of changing the name of the device. So instead of seeing that MAC ID number, you can actually call it, oh, this is my CC3200 device, and then give it a random. It'll also give you a guide as to which number of IP addresses that you can, what number IP address you can give it over here. I think 1.1 is usually reserved for the first. Is reserved for the router. That actually identifies your router. But any other number up to 255, you can give that number to your device. But anyway, it'll give you some guidelines on how to run it on your manual. So what you do is you want to download the manual first of your router. This is the manual for my router, again, that I used. And again, any router that supports reserve IP address will work for you as long as you can access the manual and access this README here on how to reserve that IP address to your device, so that each time you connect your device to the network, you know the IP address because you're the one who reserved it. You can actually note down that IP address, and it's going to give that IP address to your device each and every time. And that's important because you'll see that as we go into this third part of the video, where we'll actually head into the web control, and we'll be making changes, and I'll show you how exactly how that functions. Again, thank you so much, and hope to see you back for the third part, which is probably going to be the exciting part.